Slave DiBiase.
What's good? What's good? Hold on. Oh my goodness, y'all. I can't even see y'all right now. I'm having technical difficulties. I think my computer is on bullshit. Yeah, my computer is on definite bullshit right now, y'all. I'm gonna have to start this one over. I don't know what's going on. I can't even pull back up the screen. Hold on, y'all. All right. We still here? We still here? Fuck. Can anybody see me? Can anybody hear me? Let me know. Let me know right now. Everybody who's here, let me know. Let me know. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Because it says we still live. I had clicked off the computer and everything, re-jump started everything. Let me know in the comments right now. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Lord have mercy. Hold on. Hold on. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Here. Okay. 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 What's that? Who that? Who that? DC over there? All right. All right. That's that boy Herb Scribe, man. Y'all make sure y'all go like, comment, and subscribe to all of his content. He is another Zah creator. The brother does great work. Please go and follow him. Hold on, as soon as my computer quit acting a fool. Cancel. Cut that. Okay, okay. Let me get us. Let me get us here. Let me get us here. Bam. There we go. All right. I hate when shit don't go the right way. All right, man. Look. Let's start it off right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to another live episode of the Offenders Initiative podcast. I am your illustrious host, Slave DiBiase, aka Tony Spark, aka Slave Daniel Riches. And we are here on where We the People TV, y'all. Y'all know where the network is. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, make sure you got your good smoke. And we just gonna chill out today, man. How y'all feeling in there, man? I hope if you pulled up to this 420 session, you got some smoke. Again, I'm still rocking with the MK Ultra from Mellow Fellow. Y'all make sure y'all go check them folks out. You know what I'm saying? MK Ultra is some very powerful shit. It's an indica dominant, man. Make sure y'all get some MK. You ever get a chance to come across some MK Ultra, please put it in your blunt. And y'all see the caption, man. Power. Book 4, Force, Season 3, Episode 1 reaction. Tommy Egan is back and it's already on dumb shit. I'm telling y'all right now. Has anybody seen the new episode of Power, Book 4, Force? Has anybody seen that? Because if you have, you know, just like I did, it was crazy in that first episode. Spoiler alert, this is spoiler country. If you don't like it, wait your bitch ass till 9 o'clock when the new episode comes on. Right now, we finna talk about this shit though. You feel me? Hold on, let me get us set up here. I would like to roll with, let's see. Let's do this one. All right, y'all. This is by way of MovieBot. Please go and give MovieBot a like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. We gonna check this out and we gonna react. Hold on. What'd you say, DC? I didn't even know they dropped another season. What the fuck? It just dropped today. This is the first episode. So you're not behind, my boy. You're not behind. We all in this thing together, goddamn. We all in this thing together. Good looking, all good here. Thank y'all, everybody, for tuning in right now. You feel me? All right, so we're gonna check this out. This is by way of MovieBot yet again. Listen carefully, y'all, and I'm gonna tell y'all some of my early theories and predictions for the season because I'm an old soldier. You know how I think. Let's roll with it. Let's check it out.
Who was it? You don't know? If I knew, they'd be dead already.
Before season 3, they teased revenge, money, family, death, betrayal, love, and also power. And now that we've seen episode 1, we know exactly what they mean and where everybody sits at this moment in time in terms of all those particular themes. You've got characters like King Kilo looking for revenge.
What's crazy is, right, you got Glenn Big Baby Davis playing as King Kilo, and he's behind bars running a crew. You know what I'm saying? Running one of the crews out there that's in links with Tommy and the rest of CBI, and they all out there selling drugs together. But my man right here is running everything from jail. It's fucked up because Big Baby Davis is really locked up right now. I'm just glad that they let that man be out long enough to shoot what he had to shoot for season 3 so that we can keep some continuity going and keep on with our story. So, I want to say something about he got locked up for defrauding medical expenses. Like he told him he had one thing and it really was another. It was he frauded in some sort of way to get some extra money. They caught his ass and they locked him up. So Big Baby Davis is locked up right now. The guy who plays King Kilo, this character right here. But we're going to see how he factors into all of this because it gets dirty. I'm telling y'all.
The same with Claudia Flynn, who against all odds did survive. You've got the family dynamic between the Garcias, and I'm sure the Egans will follow suit in episode 2. Betrayal. Shanti will always be on the list, but I do think you can also now add Diamond, who gave the go-ahead to go and get rid of D-Mac. And of course, the usual death. It wouldn't be a power season opener.
Okay. While we're looking at this, I just got a question. Everybody that's been keeping up with season 1 and 2, who y'all know how the power universe works. I don't watch nothing if it has job security. I hate these drama shows where it's a certain amount of people that may or may not die and everybody else is free game. But I like it when nobody has job security. Anybody, including your favorite character, next week they could be off the motherfucking board. That's the type of shows that I like. A Snowfall, Power Universe, Game of Thrones, shit. When it was out, Sons of Anarchy. I love these shows where nobody has job security. One week your favorite characters here, the next week you watching them and they got a whole hole in the side of their head. I love that type of shit. You know what I'm talking about? So who do y'all think is actually going to make it out of this season? Tell me in the comments who y'all think is going to actually make it out of Power Book 4 Force alive. Because to me, be honest with you, I don't think nobody walks away from this but Tommy.
Without Tommy cancelling someone's Christmas. But we are going to dive deep into all of it, unpacking all the conversations, clues, Easter eggs, along with a theory or two for all things Power Book 4 Force, episode 301, Do or Die. Now, episode 1 kicks straight off from where season 2 episode 10 left off. Tommy received a call from Miguel where he said Tommy would never see Maria again, and also where Bones and Raheem were keeping Vic Flynn in the warehouse. He comes out of the bar fuming and gets a text from Bones telling him that Vic Flynn just took a call and he wants out.
Okay, so if we can remember the last episode, remember Tommy was supposed to take Mireya to Barcelona. He had 2 tickets. They were supposed to have a little romantic getaway. She was even hinting that, these tickets could be one way. We could just run off into the sunset and go be together. We could be away from this life. And Tommy ain't with that. He love the streets. He too stupid to go do anything else. He love the streets. So picked up the phone and it wasn't his girl. It was her brother saying you ain't gonna never see her again. We're left all ambiguous to think maybe he knocked her off or some shit like that. Now fast forward, he's just telling him, yo, bro, we're in competition. El Che, which is the big plug between the two of them, he made them in competition, but the sister part is off limits. I cannot fathom for the life of me why niggas make shit so difficult for themselves and they're already selling drugs with the feds on them. And if we can notice something, even within this first episode, Tommy is moving a lot like Ghost. Y'all see what I mean?
Diamond then follows Tommy outside and he tells Diamond, law enforcement know about Vic, and they're probably also on the way to the warehouse. Now, Diamond was confused because Tommy was behaving quite weird, and that's because of Maria.
Yeah, yo, DC, Vic Flynn, he out of here, bro. That's one thing I know. Weird ass district attorneys, FBI agents, motherfuckers who do too much, who just won't let shit go, and snitches never last in the power universe. So it's only a matter of time before Vic Flynn gets his head blown off, and I can't wait to see it.
But he didn't tell Diamond because he's been seeing Maria behind his back as well, and I don't think Diamond appreciated the way Tommy told him what to do. What Tommy and Diamond have is a partnership, but lately when you also include season 2, everything that Tommy's been doing, he's been making a lot of moves and calls without Diamond. Now with Maria,
sounds very ghost-like to me.
Miguel had her posted up at his place. She was alive and well, as I think we all expected. But Miguel was pissed with Maria because she decided to choose Tommy over him. He was pissed because he thought Maria sold his own brother out, so Tommy could get in the good books with Shay. He mentioned that
No. Tommy's whole plan since day one of coming to Chicago was moving everybody out of the way and running the city. He just happened to meet your sister, Miguel. You know what I'm saying? And your sister wanted to throw that little thigh out at him. She wanted to throw that little enchilada at his ass. And who is he not to catch it? You feel me?
he didn't want Maria anywhere near Tommy Egan. She was never going to see him again, and if it meant keeping Maria here, so be it. But the reason why Maria actually loves Tommy more than any of her previous love interests is because Tommy ain't like any of the other guys that she's dated before. He's probably the only one that's ever stood up to Miguel. And
now, this is the classic good girl dates nothing but the bad boys, and it turns out horrible for her, and then she meets some cool brother, some square, and settles down with him later in life. Only in this universe, we don't have happy endings like that. My early prediction is Mireille is probably gonna end up getting killed. Tommy don't have no happy ending for him. He don't have no happy ending for him. He doesn't ride off into the sunset and get married and have babies. That's not for him. It's not for him. Yeah, not for him at all. The fact that he stood up to Miguel is the only thing that's really attracting her. It's boosting the attraction or whatever. But I don't see it ending well for her.
Also the only one who's probably not scared of Miguel. Tommy isn't Kendall from season 2 who Miguel can kind of just bully. If Miguel tried to ambush Tommy in his apartment, you can be damn sure he won't go down without a fight. And he wouldn't go down without taking some, if not all of Miguel's men with him. That's one of the many reasons why Maria's fallen in love with Tommy. Now, this is where the conversation turned a little.
And I saw your comment, DC, talking about Diamond might lose somebody close to him. I think Jannard's gone. Jannard gone. Him and that bitch Shanti, they gone. I'm sorry. They off the map. I need them off the map. And as far as Diamond goes, Howard does a lot of foreshadowing. If y'all can remember the very first episode where Diamond showed up, he was cutting that old man's hair, and the old man basically said, "Don't let me catch your ass back off in here." You know what I'm talking about? And this is a man who's way older than him that probably got life. Told him, "Don't you bring your ass back off in here." My early prediction is Diamond's not going to die, but he probably going to end up going back to jail. And that's fucked up, but that's what I see for him.
Feisty. She pulled Miguel's own gun on him and then herself. But Maria then revealed something that we never knew before. She mentions that if he doesn't let her be with Tommy, then she's going to tell Shay that Miguel was the one who killed his son, Alejandro. He killed Shay's son so he could be the leader of the Insane Princes.
New information. DJ Clue voice. The way that Miguel came up to being the leader of the Insane Princes is because he killed the plug's son, and that nigga don't know that shit. And the plug look at him, even though he talked to him like he a host sometimes, he look at him as family. Secretly, he be looking out for him. Because if y'all remember in the last season, Tommy and Diamond rolled up on the plug and told him basically, look, make us distro and then have Miguel working for us. We'll be the pipeline and, we can woo. You know what I'm saying? He said, nah, Miguel will still be the pipeline, but y'all can take over the Serbs area since they're no longer on the board. He looked out for you. He could have had Diamond and Tommy running everything. He looked out for Miguel. Turns out Miguel a whole snake.
Now that's a bit of information that we didn't know before. Finally, we're getting some history on Miguel Garcia, Shay, and the Insane Princes, and it is a huge secret. A secret that I do think will probably stay safe with Maria. I don't think Maria would ever want anything to happen to Miguel, as we learned a bit later on when
Come on now. Come on, my people. We all do this. Y'all know dark secrets never stay secret in the Power universe. Yes, Che is going to find out that his son was killed by his new right-hand man. Yes, he going to find that out. Why wouldn't he? She wouldn't have mentioned it if it wasn't going to be a thing.
She made Tommy the promise that he won't kill Miguel. But you do have to wonder why they've dropped that bit of information if they're not going to intend to use it a bit later on. So definitely something to keep in the back of our minds. Depending on how this relationship pans out between Miguel, Tommy and Maria, depending on what happens in the streets, will that bit of information find its way to Shay? Now with Vic, we already know he was posted up at the warehouse with Bones and Raheem. But knowing that law enforcement were right around the corner, Diamond came to tell them that there was a snitch in the mix. And they also needed to get him out of there before law enforcement came in. Because Stacey Marks would have definitely traced that call that Vic made at the end of season 2. That's exactly what happened a bit later on. Stacey Marks and her team closed in on the warehouse where the CBI were holding Vic.
Man, when I tell you, Stacey was so mad when she rode off in there. She ain't see nothing but chairs on the table and that bitch with a light on. She was pissed. Grabbed the phone, smashed it. She did that. She did that little move. She was pissed. But what's crazy is, right, Vic don't even notice how don't nobody give a fuck about him. These police, these FBI agents have repeatedly put you in harm's way, putting it to a situation where Tommy done almost found out that you was the snitch. Matter of fact, he ended up finding out that you was the snitch because y'all were doing all that hovering. Remember last season when Vic had to shoot a cop in the head, or excuse me, shoot an FBI agent? FBI. Foundational black asshole. Anyway, FBI agent in the head. Yeah. All of that, they know what's going on. And Tommy put 2 and 2 together just like he said he would because y'all were playing too close.
Unfortunately, she was way too late. There was no sign of Vic, the CBI, or anyone, apart from his phone, and that's when she thought they were too late. In her mind, she thought Vic was as good as dead, because he'd been rumbled, and that was also on Stacey Marks. She failed to protect her CI and took it too far, just like Angela did with Nomar back here.
Look at her, stupid ass. Nah! That's the yell of somebody who done fucked up. She wanted Tommy Egan so bad she still ain't caught him. That nigga Tommy is really moving like Ghost, bro. He's 5 steps ahead of Diamond and about 2 or 3 steps ahead of the fucking feds. That shit funny as hell. Because remember, they was trying to play Tommy in like the 1st and 2nd season of the original Power. Everybody was trying to play Tommy like he was the dumb one. Trigger happy, he'll, you know what I'm saying, he'll rock some, you know what I'm saying, he'll let some go, but you know what I'm saying, but he wasn't the thinking man, you know what I'm saying. Tommy's pretty smart, but I'm gonna tell you what always fucks everything up. Pussy.
In Power, he ended up dead, and that's what Stacey Marks thought happened to Vic. Now, catching up with Jannard and Shanti, they were talking about the plan they put into motion right at the back end of season 2. For those who may have forgotten, Jannard was the one who caught Maria coming out of Tommy's apartment and shared this with Shanti. They sat on the information for a while until they felt it was right to make the move and give the information to Miguel.
So they were the ones who sent the information to Miguel. We already knew that. Perfect picture, by the way. Y'all tell me right now, everybody who's here, after the 2 of them, Shanti and Jannard, who y'all think going first? I got that bitch Shanti getting a bullet in her fucking head. I like fuck. I got somebody standing over her sooner than later. I'm telling you.
That's what they did in episode 10. Their plan was to use Miguel to do their dirty work for them. I mean, it actually was a very clever strategy from Shanti. It wasn't the first time she's come up with something very clever, and it's not going to be the last time we're going to hear plans from her either. She was.
Hold on. So you think old thumbhead boy Jannard finna be gone? That boy got a head like Alex Murphy, boy. Jesus Christ, that boy look like RoboCop. Shit, you cover my head up. Shit. Yeah, nah. So you think Jannard going first, DC? I don't know. Like, with all the weird shit he's been doing since season 1 and all the jealousy and hatred he really has for his brother and all that, like, when he died, it's got to be a moment. This bitch here who thinks she's smarter than everybody, I mean, it's going to be a moment with her too, but like, you see it coming. Him, you don't know who it's going to be by when it comes to Jannard. You don't know if it's going to be Tommy standing over him or if it's going to be his own brother standing over him. Shit. Maybe D-Mac get wind of all this going on and D-Mac take him out. You know, that nigga's stupid. A stupid nigga with a gun. Gotta be careful.
Also making plans for D-Mac a bit later on. But Shanti was getting the feeling something wasn't quite right. They should have already got the call that Tommy was taken off the map. Jannard mentioned it was probably because Miguel was torturing
He definitely was playing with his nose last season. You ain't killing no crackhead. Not that easy. Hell nah, boy, not that easy.
him and making him suffer. They've seen him do it before, and that's what they thought. However, they couldn't be further from the truth. Tommy's not someone who hides or runs. He's always been someone that confronts problems and issues in the streets face to face, head on. So he came over to confront Miguel, and after a back and forth with some of his soldiers and a back and forth with Miguel, he does actually mention to Tommy that he just let Maria go, and he's only going to keep the peace and allow him to continue.
When I tell y'all, Tommy pulled up and threw down with like 3 of the insane princes and then told Miguel, if you touched her, man, I'm going to peel your motherfucking wig. And he's like, yo, I let her go. She good. My man told him to his face. Look at that face. Everything I'm saying is true right now. That boy Miguel told him, I'm allowing her to be with you. First of all, boy, ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. If I'm Tommy, you gonna have to kill me right then. Because I got a whole problem with the way you speaking to me. Fuck you mean you gonna allow me to talk to your sister, nigga? I'm a grown-ass man, man. I just got fired from the post office the other day. I fuck around, go crazy in here. Smack shit out all you niggas.
Continue dealing in the streets because of the peace deal that they made under Shay. But if he does hurt Maria, he'll skin him alive. Now we know that's only half the truth. Yeah, I mean, they did make a peace deal with Shay at the end of season 2. Shay did make sure they both shook hands and warned them to play ball, but that's only half of the reason in terms of why he let Maria go. The truth is, she threatened to expose his dirty little secret to Shay that he killed his son Alejandro. Again, I really do wonder if it's something that comes out a bit later on.
Now, Mireya threatened Miguel like, if you don't get off my motherfucking dick, nigga, about me and Tommy, I'm gonna tell El Che that you killed his son. And that's how you got your spot. Y'all know we in the power universe and nobody is a stranger to killing their family members if need be. So Miguel might be the one to take Mireya out. Like I said, my shit still stands. I don't see her making it past this season. She gone. I don't know. She's a nice girl. She got a future ahead of her. She's in the medical field. The moment I found out she was a nurse, I said, she dead. She dead. Holly was a little club waitress slut, and she died for less.
If it's something that Tommy finds out from Maria, because information of that sort, now that's power, that's leverage, that's information you can use to own someone, just like Tommy now owns Vic. If Tommy ever found out Miguel killed Shay's son to take over the Insane Princes, I mean, that's...
And look, bro, this is just the first episode. It's hot. It's lit. The first episode.
Game over. On the flip side, would Maria really kind of want anything happen to Miguel either? So would she really spill that secret? Either way, she found herself in a very difficult spot. Miguel may be a lot of things, but at the end of the day, he's still her brother, and blood is thicker than water. That is one of the themes that Gary Lennon has teased before the season began, so Maria did want Tommy to promise...
Not in the power universe. Did we not see my favorite character, Kanan, stand over his blood son and put one in his forehead? You right. I ain't your motherfucking daddy. Did we not see that? Did we not see stupid ass Tariq shoot his father, shoot and kill his father? Come on, man. Did we not see motherfucking what's that boy name? Snitch ass boy, Crown Snitch, Vic Flynn. He shot his father in the head. Family don't mean nothing in this universe when it comes to that power, bro.
Said that he wouldn't hurt Miguel, and that she didn't want to see him until he could make that promise. There wouldn't be no Tommy and Maria if that were to happen. Now, before episode 1 in the synopsis, it did tease that Tommy did take a couple of big players off the map, and one of them was Markovic, the leader of the Serbs. Shen, who was the leader for the Ortegas who run the Marquez cartel, he said that he's still got the backing of the Ortegas and they can handle his extradition. Once he's in transit, then they can do their thing. He also slipped him a note at the same time, and we didn't need to wait long to find out exactly what it was. It was a message that said goodbye, along with some poison that actually killed Markovic. So
I'm glad, because that paperwork he signed and it was snitching. Merca snitch, goddamn. That's what they call it, a Merca snitch. I'm so glad to see him going with his flip-flopping ass between 1 and 2 seasons. He don't work with a little bit of everybody, just flip-flopping. I hate a click-hopping ass bitch, bro. Straight up. I'm so glad he did. Rest in peace. We smoking on that Merkovic pack. No,
now Markovic is off the map. Although I do want to raise one little point.
You can kill me, but it is of no consequence because I am not Lobos. My organization does not die with me.
Back in power, Milan mentioned that you could kill him, but it would be of no consequence because his organization wouldn't die with him. After that, we then saw Jason Michich, Tatiana returning for season 1, and then there
Not gonna lie to you, seeing Kanan stand over his son and shoot him in there, that might have been one of my favorite scenes in the entire Power universe. Because it just goes to show you what people are willing to do just to get to the top. Nasty human work.
was Merkovich. The Serbs do run very deep, and we don't know whether a new leader will take Merkovich's position and whether the Serbs would be reintroduced into the storyline later on, or maybe even in a arc in Power Legacy. Something to definitely keep in mind, or maybe not. But let's stick with the investigation.
The Serbs are definitely returning. You heard what Milan said. My organization does not die with me. The Serbs are a hydra. You cut one head off, another one grows in its place.
Around Merkovich, law enforcement, and their RICO case that they've been building throughout season 2. At this moment in time, Stacey Marks was still hell-bent on catching Tommy Egan, but her team behind her, they weren't aware that Merkovich was dead and that Claudia had been stabbed. Regardless, they believe that their priority should have now been
when Claudia got poked up last season, bro, with the old girl poked up in her back and called her a fancy ass bitch and let her lay there and bleed out. You always got to remember in movies and TV, bro, they can say somebody dead, but if you don't see they body, like body just be bodying, you know what I'm saying, dying or whatever, and if you don't see them in a grave or laying on a table, it's a possibility that they can come back, you know what I'm saying? So when the camera went out and we didn't see her no more and they talking about the bitch dead and they just hung up the phone, nah. We need clarification. It's just like if a spider was coming at your ass, you smack it out off its motherfucking web, you thinking you killed it. Nah, go search for that body. If you don't see a body, he's still walking around and they still talking.
In the conviction for the players that they did manage to catch. That was Roberto Ortega, Merkovich, and Claudia Flynn. And they were right. She caught some big players, but we all know how obsessed law enforcement are with characters such as St. Patrick's and Tommy Egan. Now, the meeting was interrupted because Donna Jackson from the DNC was here to pay her a visit. The DNC were really happy that Stacey Marks managed to deliver the Marquez cartel. She
okay, so this bitch, hold on.
Said, forget about Tommy Egan.
They told her, forget about Tommy Egan, right? Take the win. You brought us the Marquez cartel. We locked up some Serbians and we locked up Claudia Flynn. Take the win. Fuck a Tommy Egan. He's dead in New York anyway. Like, what you want? We all know, though, these district attorneys, these attorney generals, these AUSAs and all these other forms of law enforcement, when they fixate too much on these organizations that get close to the central characters, which are Ghost, Tommy, and all of that, they normally end up dying or going to jail. This bitch might get her head blown off, or her husband's.
She's just delivered a Mexican cartel, and that was huge. The public didn't need to know about one of their losses, which was one of Bobby DeFranco's men. That's something he was still pissed about a bit later on, and why he said he was quitting the task force. The fact that he lost one of his guys in the bust at the end of season 2, that just didn't sit well with him, especially when Stacey Marks was behaving as if she didn't even care. Now, this is something that has been teased to cause some tension between the two. I do think it is going to make their relationship quite rocky, to say the least. So just some.
That's her husband right there that she works alongside. She's actually in charge of him. And he might mess around and her being too focused on the wrong thing might fuck around and get him killed. Because if we can remember last season, 2 FBI agents dead fucking with Tommy and them. So I'm just saying.
To keep in mind going forward. But in terms of the DNC and Donna Jackson's role, they'd been discussing internal candidates, and Stacey Marks had the full backing of the Democratic Party to potentially replace the current mayor. There was going to be a scandal involving Mayor Bradley that
white girl told her, you've been doing such a good job here. We want you to run for mayor. Instead of running for mayor and moving on with her life and doing something great, she gonna keep pitching and keep picking at Tommy Egan until something bad happened to her. It's my early prediction on this one, y'all.
Was going to break anytime soon, and they wanted Stacey Marks to run for mayor. Now, we know Stacey Marks is really ambitious. Running for mayor is something that she's always wanted, and that's why she later changed her tune with her team. She said, forget about Tommy Egan. The main focus was to get convictions for Roberto Ortega of the Mexican cartel, Merkovich, the leader of the Serbian network, and Claudia Flynn. But throughout those last few scenes, she was ducking quite a few calls. She was called 3 times until Detective Sen got the news that Markovich was dead, and they also hit Claudia Flynn. If they didn't have Ortega, Markovich, or Claudia, they have no case. And so she asked a question that all of us have been asking for a very long time. Did Claudia Flynn survive? Now, we know Claudia was stabbed at the end of season 2, but we know how the script works for power, at least when it comes to things like this. The blueprint was Felipe Lobos, Lauren from Book 2 Ghost, Unique from Raising Kanan, and there are a few other examples. And that's why there was always a little doubt in my mind. Lo and behold, Claudia Flynn was alive. Now, Stacey Marks was here to see if she'd cooperate and help convict the Marquez cartel, because at the end of the day, Claudia Flynn is actually small fish, so is Markovich. But convicting a main member of the Mexican cartel, along with the drug bust, that's considered a big win. But Claudia point blank refused, because I
ain't gonna lie, y'all. Claudia held it down right here. She was like, yo, flip on the Marquez cartel, help me take them down, and you can walk free of all of this. She was like, that's not gonna happen. Get the fuck out. I'm not helping you. You're not gonna get me messed up. Fuck wrong with you, lady? You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get me killed trying to help you out in here. As far as she's concerned, everybody in that jail is against her. The girl was on her phone and got stabbed by somebody she probably never even spoken to or looked their way. She can't trust nobody. So she told old girl here, you know what I'm saying, kiss my ass.
Even Claudia Flynn knows that snitching on Markovich and snitching on the Mexican cartel, that's a huge difference. Snitching is still snitching, but she knows it's a big death wish if she snitched on the Marquez cartel. She then had another visit a bit.
What's crazy is though, she told old girl, whatever you need on Markovich, I can give you everything. She was gonna snitch out the Serbian real quick. Fuck him. But the cartel, she ain't want that smoke.
Flynn knows that snitching on Markovich and snitching on the Mexican cartel, that's a huge difference.
Shit, she was
Snitching
ready.
is still snitching, but she knows it's a big death wish if she snitched on the Marquez cartel. She then had another visit a bit later on. Shen, who was Ortega's lawyer. Now, it was hard for them to actually get to Claudia compared to Markovich, but Claudia did convince him to at least go check out the information that it was actually Tommy and Sean, to at least go check out the hotel. She then had another visit a bit later.
All right, y'all, this lawyer right here, bro. He is vicious. He's the lawyer for the Mexican cartel, for the Marquez cartel. And he gangsta shit. He basically like, look, bitch, you need to work with us because if you don't, you're going to die. We're going to make sure of it. The only reason why you ain't dead right now is because you got too many eyes on you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have survived this for real, for real. So that Mexican cartel, they dirty, bro.
Run. Shen, who was Ortega's lawyer. Now, it was hard for them to actually get to Claudia compared to Markovich, but Claudia did convince him to at least go check out the information that it was actually Tommy and Shanti who set this up. He then went and did just that. Her story checked out, and she would continue to be in business with the Marquez cartel. But Tommy and Shanti, they'd be dead by this evening. Now let's move on from one rat Flynn over to another. With Vic, we picked up with him at Diamond's barbershop, but they weren't going to confront Vic about him being the snitch just yet. They still wanted him to feel like they had his trust. They told him that they gave the address to only a select few, and it was Shanti who was the one who flipped between Tommy and Claudia.
So this is Tommy's I'm being smart face right here. Cause he was like, we think we know who the snitch is. Vic was on some, really? Who is it? Tell me. Tommy was like, so you telling me you don't know who the snitch is? Like, be for real, dude. You don't know who the snitch is? I'm like, no. Because if they did, they would already be dead. Says the word of a snitch. Tommy flipped it to outsmart him and told him that Shanti was the one that's supposed to have been snitching on them. So they're going to play her right quick, keep her in the dark, make him think that the heat is off of him. It was a nice play on Tommy's part.
The address to only a select few, and it was Shanti who was the one who flipped between Tommy and Claudia. So for now, they let him go, because Tommy's got a bigger plan. And that's what Gary Lennon and Joseph Sikora were teasing before season 3. They mentioned there's a lot of ways for Vic to avoid what seems to be his destiny, and what Tommy has planned for him would be a great reveal. The word about Markovich also started to filter through that he was dead. Christmas came early because Tommy saw this as a huge opportunity. He wanted to know everybody who Markovich and the Serbs were supplying so they could swoop in. As we know in Chicago, it's all about territory. The more territory you have, the more money, power, muscle, and the quicker you can then get rid of the insane princes and Miguel Garcia.
Everybody that's kept up with season 1 and 2, do we feel like Tommy's moving too fast? Ooh. Bless me, your Hamukallah. All right. Do we feel like Tommy's moving a little too fast? Because he's basically on some I'm taking over the whole city type shit.
You have a look at the map of Chicago. Vic has now taken over the territory from Walter Flynn, but that territory is also now in partnership with the CBI. But you then have a look at the Serbian territory. That was all up for grabs. Crews such as the Albanians and the Italians that we're going to come to in just a
This
moment,
map
they
is
were all up
crazy.
for grabs.
Hold
But
on.
just in terms of Vic,
Let me
the
go back and look at the
territory
map.
from Walter Flynn, of the Insane Princes, and Miguel Garcia. You have a look at the map.
All right, so it looks like Miguel runs everything way down bottom of Chicago. Tommy and Diamond here run this little section. Janara got this section over here. Then it looks like the Serbs and them had all that up there. This is a lot of territory.
Of Chicago, Vic has now taken over the territory from Walter Flynn, but that territory is also now in partnership with the CBI. But you then have a look at the Serbian territory. That was all up for grabs. Crews such as the Albanians and the Italians that we're going to come to in just a moment, they were all up for grabs.
Nah, look at Walter Flynn's territory, y'all. Look at Walter Flynn's territory. Let me see. That's a lot of territory that man had. Sheesh. It's a lot of land up for grabs. A lot of bodies gonna drop.
Come to in just a moment, they were all up for grabs. But just in terms of Vic, he came back to Stacey Marks to tell her that Tommy thinks the snitch is someone else. Someone else called Shanti Showstopper, who runs Garfield Park, which didn't make sense to Stacey Marks. She said it doesn't make sense because they didn't have anything to do with Shanti. She's never been on their radar, and maybe Tommy was playing him. But the way Tommy and Diamond put it to Vic earlier on,
she was trying to save you. He should have thought about what she said. Shanti ain't even on our radar. Who the fuck is Ashanti from Garfield Park?
Convinced him because Shanti was technically playing both sides. That wasn't a secret. Tommy didn't lie when he told Vic about Shanti. He hid the secret about them knowing Vic was a snitch, but he did so by covering it with another truth about something else, which was Shanti. And that's how you gain someone's trust, by telling them just enough truth, but not everything. Something that Tommy is going to be teaching D-Mac a bit later on. Now, Vic's thinking this is his chance to get out clean. But now that Stacey Marks is actually thinking, put Vic to use to get Claudia away for good. And also because she's probably going to think about having another stab at Tommy Egan down the line. She definitely keeps on moving the goalposts, and I have no doubt she's probably going to continue in season 3.
That shit gonna get her ass killed.
Now, if I were Vic, I would have
Yo, what if Vic body her? He tired of her bullshit. He put a bullet in her head. You know the boy reckless. Look at his face. Mean, mad.
probably just vanished. Stacey Marks thought he was dead. Tommy and Diamond let him walk out of the warehouse and also the barbershop. I would have taken the money, done the pickups, taken that money as well, and just disappeared for good, which was actually his plan. But before he planned to leave, he did come and visit Uncle Paulie's wife, Beth, who we have heard about before.
20 years ago, when you rolled up with Paulie and his wife.
Beth catches a face full of fucking glass. 52 fucking stitches to put her beautiful face back together.
52 stitches.
See, anytime somebody ever attempts to go live a regular life, like the whole plan of making these little drops, making this money, and then I'm the fuck up out of here, it ain't gonna work out for Vic. Vic gonna end up dying. He should have left in season 1 when Tommy gave him keys to that clean car with his girl. He should have left then. He's never gonna get another chance.
Even though it was 20 years ago, I would have maybe liked to have seen maybe a scar or two on Beth's face, just to match the history and what Uncle Paulie said back in season 1. But anyway, the reason why Vic was here was because he was running. But he wasn't going to run without leaving something behind, just in case. He left Beth with an envelope that has enough to put everyone away. So this envelope right here.
Dun dun dun, foreshadowing. Anytime somebody didn't Cooper Sacks do this same shit? Yeah, you finna die, bitch.
Which is very similar to the flash drive storyline from Book 2 Ghost, and also the recording of Tommy killing Ruiz that lingered around in power for a very long time. I do have a feeling that we're probably going to be revisiting this envelope storyline at some point later on in this season. Whatever's on here could put Tommy in danger, and it really is deja vu. Tommy definitely has been here before. Now, with Tommy and Diamond, after they heard about Markovic, they came to see Peter, who was the leader of the Albanians. The problem was, they did get the memo that Markovic got popped, and they'd already put a deal in place with Miguel Garcia and the Insane Princes. They did try and undercut Miguel Garcia, but that's not how Peter does business, so it was kindly refused, which probably was the right thing to do in that scenario. For Tommy and Diamond, they realized that they're going to have to play the long game.
Miguel been beating him to the punch with a lot of grabbing folks that he can supply his product to. He been beating him to the punch. Tommy ain't sore about it, but he's like, damn, Oh boy, making it so I can't move. This shit might be a little different.
Continue building, continue with their coalition, take what they can from the Serbian territory, and then come back and undercut Miguel's entire customer base later on,
Right.
when they're in a much stronger position. For now, it was time to lock in the Italians. Now, on the Italians, we didn't exactly see them in episode 1, but you guys know this has been a very big focus of mine over the past few years. I've been a strong believer of the Italians returning, specifically the storyline around Elisa Marie. I do think the Italians have a huge part to play, not just in Tommy's future, but also Tariq's. The involvement in Proctor's death, the conversation between Tommy and Elisa Marie, this is something that just may be a little bit of a hint and a foreshadow for what's to come. So
That's right. I always forget about her and her family. And I don't think they letting go what happened to Joe Proctor, because Tariq and Tommy definitely killed him together. They did that. Well, Tariq set it up and Tommy did the deed. By this time, this girl's gonna be a little bit older, and she done put 2 and 2 together, and she might be somebody in her family. And she's also gonna figure out about that too.
definitely something to keep in mind and something we will unpack in this coming week. Now with Miguel, he also got word that Tommy did try and make a move with the Albanians, but now he's planning to do everything low-key. Maybe that's how he got rid of Alejandro, Shay's son, using another enemy to take him out.
Now, in this same conversation, even though El Che told Tommy and told your boy here, Miguel, y'all are not to harm each other because we're all working together. You know what I'm saying? They both have plans low-key to take the other one off the map. Mireya made Tommy promise her, please do not hurt my brother. We can't be together if you do something to him. That don't mean he can't send Diamond to do it.
For him, because that's what he wants to do here, have one of Egan's enemies take him off the map for him, leaving his hands clean. Now who that enemy is, it could genuinely be anyone. We know Tommy's always got a long list of enemies, but could it be Janard and Shanti, or could it be someone else? So speaking of Janard and Shanti, she was actually here saying they needed to make a play starting with Diamond at the barbershop, make it maybe look like a robbery.
Now you heard what everything he just said, right? We need to make a play for Diamond and kill him there and take all the money out of the register, make it look like a robbery. Then we'll be on the top of CBI running everything. Now, while they're saying that, Tommy is literally standing right there listening to everything they're saying. Now, I'm wondering, are they going to act like he didn't hear, or was this one of those, y'all cutting it a little too close, y'all little plan finna get uncovered type shit?
Take them off the map and then take over the CBI, just like they plan to do in season 2. But Tommy was lurking around the corner, and I'm sure he's not stupid. Even if he didn't arrive in time to hear what Shanti was planning, Tommy knows these two can't be trusted. For Janard and Shanti, they couldn't believe that Tommy just walked into the gym, because they thought he'd be dead because of what they put into
Ain't no way when he came around that corner, he didn't hear old girl say, we gonna be at the top of CBI. He ain't no way he didn't hear that.
motion. But that's the problem. They just keep underestimating him at every single turn. For now, Shanti wants to just stay patient and let the right moment present itself, and that's when they'll make their move. Now, Tommy did also make a call to JP because he wanted to see Kate. They never left their relationship on good terms at the end of season 2, but I'm sure that's something that will probably be put right in the coming episodes, starting from episode 2. Janard also had other things that he had to deal with as well, and that was King Kilo. So let's move on to.
And this motherfucking RoboCop forehead ass nigga, he gets on my nerves. The worst kind of person to have is somebody right next to you and they plotting your downfall, but they calling themselves friend or brother. It's just sick, bruh. That's what, you know what? I think his brother gonna be the one to put a bullet in his head. At least I hope so.
The situation with D-Mac. Now, the last time we saw D-Mac was when he killed Mad Dog and gave the news to Diamond. He was now here asking whether Diamond smoothed things over with King Kilo, but also to put him back to work. The problem is, he's put the CBI and Tommy in a very difficult spot by killing King Kilo's nephew, because you've now got King Kilo putting pressure on Janard, telling him that if he wants to keep the peace, if they want to keep this coalition with the RDs, he has to get rid of D-Mac. The longer D-Mac stays alive, the weaker he appears to be. He told him, get it done, and you've only got 1 week.
Bruh. King Kilo wants D-Mac off the map. He don't give a fuck about nothing that shit he talking about last season where he was like, I'm gonna wait till you get out and then I'm gonna serve him up to you. He was like, nope, I need it done. I need it done in a week. You're not gonna have me looking crazy out here. You know what I'm saying? My man Big Baby Davis said, I can't sleep. That shit was serious.
You've also then got Shanti in Janard's ear who's telling him that if King Kilo can wait a week, he can maybe wait 2 or 3, use his grief to their advantage, keep DMAC
She gonna get somebody killed. That man not playing by his nephew, bro. Talking about if he can wait a week, he can wait 2 weeks, maybe even a month or whatever. Like, just because he locked up in jail don't mean he still can't send some shit through. You get what I'm saying? She be playing with fire, bro.
alive as long as they can. Because when King Kilo is released a bit later on, they can make it look like Tommy and Diamond were the ones who were protecting him. Then King Kilo will take out Tommy and Diamond for them, and that's when they'll step in. But I really don't think Janard is actually on board with Shanti's vision. I personally don't think he's actually good with taking out Diamond. When it comes to crunch time, I do actually think he's going to flip on Shanti. Now with Diamond, Janard tells
Could we see Janard putting a bullet in Shanti head for Diamond? I still shoot this motherfucker anyway, because you was talking about killing me, nigga.
him that King Kilo wants DMAC dead ASAP. The problem he has with killing DMAC at this moment in time is it could mess up everything they built with Tommy. It's a lose-lose situation at this moment. If they kill DMAC, then they have to deal with Tommy. However, if they don't, then their coalition with the RDs and King Kilo then falls apart. And then it puts a target on their backs as well. So taking both into account, I'm actually not surprised that Diamond then tells Janard to get rid of DMAC, but maybe.
And this right here is the nexus point of how everybody's going to end up dying. This right here, as far as the organization goes, you gave a green light for your brother to go kill my nephew, and you're my partner, and you're going to do it behind my back. Tommy finna get all y'all fucked up and or killed, bro. Nobody's walking away from Chicago but Tommy. But I think he going to jail. Diamond going back to jail. That he can handle dying, but going back to jail, that'll break him. Everybody else, y'all dead.
Make sure he doesn't come back on them, because his decision probably stems from being fed up of Tommy calling the shots, speaking to him the way he does at times, just like at the beginning, and also cleaning up DMAC's mess.
That's emotional. Everybody's supposed to be thinking about the money. Now you using your feeling. I'm tired of him talking to me like that. He think he running everything. Shaq don't like that. See, that's what I'm saying, man. And all of that is what? Fucking up the money. Everybody gonna die, go to jail.
This is also where Janard planted yet another seed. He told Diamond that Tommy had been dealing with Maria behind Miguel's back, something that Diamond didn't actually know back in season 2. That made Diamond confront Tommy because he's done with him keeping secrets. Diamond wanted him to stay away from Maria back in 201, and he gave him an ultimatum. Don't fuck it up again, or he'll be down a partner. Now Tommy knows he did wrong by not telling Diamond. One of the reasons why there were so many issues between Tommy and Ghost back in power was because Ghost used to keep things from Tommy. He was seeing Angela, who ended up being a federal prosecutor. He put club business over their street business, amongst a lot of other things. And that's what Tommy's been doing for majority of the time since he's been in Chicago. But they are definitely planting the seeds for what's to come pretty soon. An eventual split between Tommy, Diamond, and Tommy probably being kicked out of the CBI.
Damn.
Distrust, tension, betrayal.
Do we see that all of them could just gang up and be like, Tommy, you out of here. We don't need your help no more. If you ain't with Tommy the Terminator, you against him. Remember that.
And problems between Tommy and Diamond. They've already laid the foundations in episode 1. Now, a bit later on, when Tommy came to see Shanti about Claudia Flynn being alive, their conversation was interrupted because they had some rumblings in the gym. It was an ambush from the Marquez cartel, and it wouldn't be a power season opener if you didn't have Tommy cancelling someone's Christmas. But now they know they needed to keep their guard up. Another person who also
I ain't gonna lie. This part right here, the girl Shanti held it down. She was catching hats left and right. Stood over the motherfucker, put his brains over there and all that. She did a big one. You feel me? Her and Tommy, and it locks her in even more with Tommy because I feel like she's gonna try and gain his trust. And you always gotta watch somebody that always want to be so close to you and gain your trust. What you trying to gain my trust so hard for, my nigga? You know what I'm saying? Just be cool how it's gonna be cool, and we're gonna end up locking in or we won't. It's about that energy or whatever. But people that be so eager to be your friend and all that, what do they want from you? You know what I'm saying? So this right here, the fact that Tommy saved her life because she was about to get shot in the head, it kind of locks them in a little bit more, making him trust her a little bit more. But she on bullshit. He'll figure it out though.
if you didn't have Tommy cancelling someone's Christmas, but now they know they needed to keep their guard up. Another person who also needs to keep her guard up is Claudia Flynn. Elise gave her the news that the ambush failed, and that means she's also got a target on her back. There is no way Tommy lets her live for what she did to Liliana, and I can't wait for them to come face to face. The actors have actually teased there is a lot of respect between each other, but at the end of the day, Claudia still has to go.
That's a fact. She did kill Liliana, and Tommy is gonna get his revenge. I just want. How y'all think it's gonna be? You think he gonna stand over and give her a wiggy or what?
Now, towards the end, Tommy did go and pay Miguel Garcia another visit. He's someone who never hides. He also let Miguel know that he may have beaten him to the punch when it came to the Albanians, but he's still here. He's still gonna take what's his. But he did also make Maria that promise that he won't kill Miguel. That's the only condition that
Cap, stop the cap right now, goddamn. He is going to definitely kill Miguel, bruh. Miguel's gonna do some weird shit, and Tommy gonna end up having to take it there with him. He's going to break his promise. And this is Tommy the Terminator we talking about. You know he don't let shit slide for real, for real. How long did he chase Tasha when he found out she snitched on him in court? How long did he chase Tasha? Nigga killed some FBI agents and caught her at her safe house. Tell me ain't playing with nobody, bro.
she had when it came to Tommy, because she accepts everything else. She accepts the life that Tommy's in, and she is going to wait for him, but only if he promises to never kill Miguel. And I do think that is one step closer to them potentially working together at some point in the future. Now, as the night was coming to a close, D-Mac was taken by Jannard. Diamond did give the go-ahead to go and kill him, but we know that's not going to happen. Shanti's plan is to keep him alive for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, making Kilo believe that Tommy and Diamond were the ones who were protecting him, so I don't actually think anything will actually happen to D-Mac, at least in the short term.
D-Mac gonna die too.
The same also goes for Vic Flynn. This is where Tommy and Diamond finally confronted him about being the snitch, because
Stupid ass Captain America ball cap on your head, snitching ass.
Tommy did see him speaking to Stacey Marks right at the end of back of season 2, and his plan, he now owns him. He's going to be Tommy's inside man in the feds, so they can always remain one step ahead. And unfortunately, Vic is now trapped. On one side, he's got Stacey Marks who owns him, and on the other side, he's now got Tommy and Diamond who own him. But I do have a potential way out for Vic, which I am going to leave for this upcoming week, so definitely keep your eyes peeled for that particular breakdown. Now, with that being said, that concludes episode 1's breakdown.
All right, y'all. That was by way of MovieBot again. Give them a like, comment, and subscribe. How are y'all feeling about episode 1, season 3 of Power, book 4, Ghost? Ghost. You know I'm fried. MK Ultra. Power, book 4, Force. Goddamn. Yeah. I'm fucking with it so far. They got to give Tommy a win because it's honestly the weakest series out of the spinoffs that have been out so far. So this season kind of gives it a chance to redeem. And then we're going to go right into Raising Kanan after that. That'll also be the season finale, series finale of that situation too next season. I'm probably going to react to the trailer here in a little while. I don't know. We'll look at it. But I'm fried. Y'all fried. This was a great sesh, y'all. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me your favorite moment once you watch episode 1 of season 3. Tell me which is your favorite moment in the goddamn show. It's your boy Slate DiBiase, man. We out.